got all day. He stays in bounds. Zach Wilson caught it. Zach Wilson gets in the end zone for the touchdown. Yo, what is good, Jets Nation? Welcome back to another Jets Media live stream. And today we are live to talk about some crazy stuff that just came out from the New York Jets. We also got breaking NFL news that I think I should get to. That's not the topic of the video. It's not the thumbnail. It's not the title. But breaking news, as you guys are seeing in the chat, you're letting me know right now, Amari Cooper has been dealt to the Cleveland Browns. So Amari Cooper to the New York Jets dream is all but over. So the New York Jets are not getting Amari Cooper. That is all said and done. He will be going to the Cleveland Browns, which is definitely unfortunate because I wanted Amari Cooper on the New York Jets very desperately, but it is okay. It is okay. It looked like the Jets were interested. They made a phone call to Dallas, but I felt like it was more due diligence than anything else. So Amari Cooper is being dealt to the Cleveland Browns. So we'll see what the New York Jets will do. My take on Amari Cooper, yes, I wanted him very bad. I wanted him on the New York Jets, but I would not get too upset right now until we get to see what the plan is for this offseason. What I mean by that is, yes, we have a right to be upset we did not get Amari Cooper, but we cannot judge Joe Douglas and the Jets until we see what they do at the wide receiver position. Say they go out there and make a trade for DK, or say they go out there and sign a guy on Allen Robinson, or say they go out there and draft a guy in Garrett Wilson. Then we'll be like, okay, that makes sense why we did not get Amari Cooper. But if we miss out on Amari Cooper and all these other guys, then yes, that's when we start criticizing the Joe Douglas and New York Jets. I just think it's a little too premature to say, oh my God, what are they doing? Because we do not know the plan yet. So let's stay and wait because there's a lot of moves to be made by the New York Jets. Very interesting to see that the Cleveland Browns got it done. But at the same time, I'm very upset because I definitely wanted the New York Jets to bring him in. But on other news, right, we have a complete different topic to get into. So, NY Jets commenter, he messaged with Tyron Mathieu, the Honey Badger, on Instagram. So this guy posted a jersey swap of the Honey Badger on his Instagram, and the Honey Badger messaged him saying, fire, me and Philly Will, too gangsta. I'd wear number one if I were to come to New York. So this is pretty crazy. We saw Mike Garofalo go on the Good Morning Football the other day to talk about the potential of Tyron Mathieu being a fit for the New York Jets. And it really makes me wonder, would he want to come to the Jets? Because this is pretty crazy. Why would he go out of his way and talk about this? And also on Twitter, Tyron Mathieu commented on the report that the New York Jets re-signed Will Parks, and he was really happy for it. And that was really cool to see. So the Honey Badger and Will Parks, they are friends, and he's happy to see him be re-signed with the Jets. Tyron Mathieu is a free agent. Now, this is all fun and rumors to talk about. This isn't a, breaking news that Honey Badger is guaranteed coming to the New York Jets. That is not what this video is all about. This is just me talking about this crazy concept that the Honey Badgers on Instagram DMing one of our Jets fan pages out there, NY Jets commenter. If you want to check him out, check out his Twitter. The link down below to the tweet is there. This is legit. This is legit DMs. And I just thought it was really crazy to talk about. And I also want to talk about the hypothetical scenario is if New York Jets should go out there and get the Honey Badger. And it is pretty crazy because while I'm live right now talking about Tyron Mathieu, there is some breaking news that happened of Amari Cooper going to the Browns. And I see you guys are more into that right now. And rightfully so, because that came out of nowhere. Literally, right when I started this live stream, I looked at my phone and I saw the tweet from Adam Schefter 10 minutes ago that Amari Cooper got traded to the Cleveland Browns. And I was like, oh, damn it. There goes that. There goes that. And now I'm live talking about a completely different topic. So let's talk about Tyron Mathieu real quick, guys. Let's talk about Tyron Mathieu, and then we'll get into the Amari Cooper situation and where the New York Jets need to go with their wide receiver room, because obviously we missed out on him we all wanted that veteran leadership in the locker room at the wide receiver spot in Amari Cooper, and now he's no longer available. So when it comes to Tyron Mathieu, a big reason why I want him on the New York Jets is a lot, right? He'll be replacing Marcus May, number one. And number two, he's 29 years old, about to turn 30. He's got a lot of a lot of football left in the tank. He's still playing at elite level. But more importantly than his play on the field, his veteran leadership will go such a long way for this young secondary with Bryce Hall and Eccles and Michael Carter II and whoever we add to that youth in the draft. And he's also a guy that will just be a veteran culture shift. He is the prototypical leader that Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh would love to add to the locker room to really try to galvanize this New York Jets organization and bring them to the top, which is where we're trying to go, right? We have CJ Mosley in the locker room on the defense, who is a very similar voice, that is the culture setter, that is a veteran that people look up towards. And I feel like if we do get Tyron Mathieu, that would be absolutely phenomenal for this New York Jets defense for many different reasons. He is a scheme fit. He's a player that will hold down the secondary. Now, he isn't in his prime anymore. We all know that. But I still think a 29-year-old turning 30 years old this season, Tyron Mathieu, is worth the money that he's looking to get in my eyes. We have a lot of cap space. We got to spend it somewhere. If we miss out on Marcus Williams, if we miss out on Justin Reed, if we miss out on all these other safeties, I would absolutely be pounding the table for the Honey Badger. I would absolutely love to get Tyron Mathieu on the New York Jets. Now, let me know your thoughts about Tyron Mathieu and if you want him on the New York Jets. Very interesting to see what you guys have to say about him because I'm assuming half you guys probably want him, some of you guys don't want him. So I'm very interested to see what you guys have to say. And yeah, obviously we all saw. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I'm very interested to see what you guys have to say. All right. Sorry, that was a little echo. My own video started replay. So I want to talk about Amari Cooper as well because I see everybody's really upset right now. Jets fans are in awe about it. But guys, make sure you smash that thumbs up button. We got 15 likes with 75 of you guys tuning in. We're just getting started on this Jets Media live stream. We're going to be live for a little bit. Talk about some Jets free agency rumors, some Jets free agency buzz, NFL stuff that's going on all around the league. So make sure you smash that like button on your way in so we can just get started, get as many Jets fans in here as possible so we could talk about all the latest free agency buzz when it comes to the New York Jets. So Amari Cooper going to the Cleveland Browns, that is definitely a little disappointing. I would be lying to say that I'm not disappointed in that, right? So I don't know if they came out with the trade compensation yet. Let me check Twitter. Maybe you guys know something that I don't. Let me go see if Amari Cooper's deal is announced. Let me know in the chat, guys. Do you know what the Browns gave up? I'm assuming it's like a third-round pick or a fourth-round pick, one of those two. So Amari Cooper has 3 years, $60 million on his contract. I know some Jets fans want him, but if they absorb that contract, it would have impacted the ability to address other needs. Plenty of wide receivers free agents in the draft. That's what Rich Tamini says. Yeah, guys, listen, Amari Cooper is a great player, and he's a player that we whiffed on. But you also have to realize the money that we would have to be spending him for the next 3 years is a lot for a player getting older and older. You never know. Please do not start criticizing the Jets front office until we see all of their moves. You have every single right to be upset for missing out on Amari Cooper. But don't be saying that Joe Douglas and the Jets don't know what they're doing until we see what they do with this wide receiver room. Because they have so much assets. They have a lot of things to work with where it feels like they did not want to put all the breads in the basket in Amari Cooper and spread the wealth other areas of the New York Jets football team. And all I'm trying to say is offseason is just about to begin. Obviously, all the trades are happening, and we want to be part of the big-time news, big part of the splash trades around the league. And me too. I really wanted the Jets to get Amari Cooper. But I don't think this is the end of the world. I think that the New York Jets are sitting in an opportunity to go out there and make a big-time trade for maybe DK Metcalf. Go out there and make a big-time move for an Allen Robinson in free agency. Make a big-time move in the NFL draft for a guy in Garrett Wilson or Treylon Burks or Drake London or Christian Watson. I mean, we have to make sure that we do not get too upset, be too reactional to this news until we get to see what the New York Jets do. Does that make any sense? I'm just trying to say we don't know what the Jets' plan is, so it's really hard to criticize it when we haven't seen it. Afterwards, if you don't like it, then you have every single reason to criticize it. You have every single reason to be upset. All I'm trying to say is, in my opinion at least, Joe Douglas and the New York Jets did not think it was in their best interest to give up draft capital for a player that you'd be paying $60 million for the next 3 years, and they're trying to build this team, around just outside the quarterback, not just a wide receiver in Amari Cooper. I think that's where their mindset is at. And yeah, you have every single right to be upset about it. But let's see how this offseason plays out. That's my approach to it. I really feel like there's a lot of other guys on the table that we have to realize that the New York Jets will be interested in for the wide receiver room, in that being DK Metcalf potentially in the trade market, that being Allen Robinson hitting the open market for the first time in his career. Even guys like in the draft, like we said, Garrett Wilson. So please, I don't think we need to realize. Um, yeah, so we'll see what happens. I'm not sure what's going to happen with the Jets when it comes to that, but let's move on the Amari Cooper talk, right? Because the main reason I wanted to go live just now is because of the Honey Badger. The Honey Badger on Instagram DMing NY Jets commenter saying that he would wear number 1. So let me know in the chat, guys. Would you want Tyron Mathieu, the Honey Badger, on the New York Jets? Do you think this is a player that is worth the investment for a contract? Let me know in the chat, and then we'll go from there to see what everyone has to say. Rick B with the $2 donation. Thank you so much, my man. We need to trade for DJ Moore. Also sign DJ Chark. Yeah, I think DJ Moore is a player that you definitely need to call the Panthers about if they're interested in trading him. And I really love DJ Chark. I think he's a very underrated wide receiver to hit the open market. Very young and exciting. I'm all about it. All about it. Thank you so much for the $2 donation, Rick B. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Let's see what people are saying about Honey Badger. For cheap, you're not going to get the Honey Badger for cheap. Hell to the yeah, I wanted us to draft him. Mm-hmm. Let's hope it happens. Yes, sir. Hello and good morning and good afternoon. Thank you, 49er Media. No doubt. Culture shifter, yes. This is the big reason why I want him. Of course, Tyron will help us out so much. Definitely not. Joe is not on the Tyron Mathieu train. Honey Badger is really good, but I prefer Marcus Williams. Less injury concerns. I want DJ Moore. I'll take Cooper and Bobby Wagner. Just need to spend enough money. Well, we're not getting Cooper. Amari Cooper signed with the Cleveland Browns or got traded to the Cleveland Browns. So that dream is all but over. Would love DK Metcalf, but can't give up our whole future. Exactly, which is why I don't feel like Joe Douglas will do that trade unless it makes sense for both sides, right? So New York Jets are in a really good situation where we have all the ammunition, we have everything we need in order to be aggressive in the open market, in the trade market, in the draft. So it'll be really interesting to see what the New York Jets do. But I thought this was really interesting because Will Parks and Tyron Mathieu, they're friends, and the New York Jets re-signed Will Parks. And if you went on Twitter and you go to Will Parks' Twitter account, and when he tweeted saying, like, I can't wait to be back with the Jets, the Honey Badger responded to him, and oh, excuse me. And I was like, oh, there's a connection. Tyron Mathieu and Will Parks. Who would have thought? And then this comes around. NY Jets commentator on Instagram posts a swap. The Honey Badger likes the photo, and then he DMs it to Tyron Mathieu saying, I would wear number 1 if I came to the New York Jets. Now, why would he say that? Why would the Honey Badger go out there and say that if there's not interest? That's what I'm trying to say in this video. Like, it's not guaranteed that the Honey Badger's coming to the Jets, obviously. The Chiefs are going to try to re-sign him. He might be wanting to go to a team that's ready to win right now instead of a team that's on the rise like the Jets. You never know. And this is not saying that he's coming to the Jets. But isn't it crazy that this is even happening? The reason why the Honey Badger would be a big-time piece for the New York Jets, for a multitude of reasons, right? He would be a player that would solidify that secondary for the next 2 to 3 years based on how much money we give him and how long it is, obviously. And he would be that veteran leadership because our secondary last year was so bad in terms of the back end, right? The safety room was just not good. And that's simply because we were banged up. We had so many guys going in and out with injuries. People going, we had like 12 different safeties being played throughout the entire season. And that needs to change. That needs to change. So we re-signed Will Parks. We re-signed LaMarcus Joyner. Go out there and get the Honey Badger and then draft the rookie safety. And I like it. So yeah, guys, if you're just tuning in, welcome into the stream. We got some breaking NFL news that is not related to the topic, and that is Amari Cooper being traded to the Cleveland Browns. So the New York Jets miss out on that opportunity. So if you're just tuning in, guys, make sure you smash that thumbs up button. We got over 90 people tuning in with 34 likes. Let's get this to 50 likes. I would really appreciate everybody tuning in. We got a lot of fun things happening on the channel this week. I just scheduled my free agent frenzy video, or should I say live stream on Monday. It'll be live at noon, breaking you guys all the latest news about free agency, where the New York Jets are going to go, everything regarding the New York Jets, everything regarding the NFL, anything that's going to be happening around the league. I will be here to break it all down for you guys on Monday at noon all day long. So you guys can tune in at noon and you'd be like, all right, I'm sick of Richie. I want to go do something else. And all of a sudden it'll be like an hour later. You're like, oh my God, Richie's still live. And you tune back in. That's going to be my Monday. So I can't wait to see you guys there. And that's going to be a lot of fun. What's up, Noah? Welcome into the stream. D. Santana, welcome in. How do we not offer a fourth for Amari? So a big factor to Amari Cooper is not the draft capital. It's probably the money, if I would say. Amari Cooper's coming off a down year, and he's getting paid $60 million for the next 3 years. And I'm not saying that's not worth it. I would have enjoyed Amari Cooper on the Jets, but I think the Jets rather use that money elsewhere and fill out the holes of this roster because, unfortunately for the Jets, we have a lot of holes, right? We're not just a number one receiver away from going to the playoffs. We have holes at tight end. We have holes at safety. We have holes at edge. We have holes at corner. We have holes in the interior offensive line. So I feel like if the Jets did not have holes all over the roster, like the Cleveland Browns, this would have made a lot of sense. But unfortunately for us, we got holes all over the roster. So not saying I'm justifying the move for the Jets to not pull the trigger here, but I can tell why they did not. Cooper to the Browns, Ethan. Yes, indeed. Amari Cooper to the Browns. And yeah, that's pretty crazy. Definitely pretty crazy. So guys, smash that thumbs up button. Get the 50 likes. I just wanted to go live. Oh, that's not me. That's not me either. My apologies. I just skipped to so many different streams. Hope you guys can see that. But I don't know. I just feel like this DM from Tyron Mathieu speaks volume to me. It really does speak volume to me. And I know that Jets fans don't really want to talk about this. They want to harp on the Amari Cooper. Just don't attach yourself to that, man. Don't get too upset. Don't trip over it too much. Obviously, it's unfortunate that we didn't get him, but it's not the end of the world, right? It's not the end of the world. The Jets have so much assets to get a number one receiver alongside Elijah Moore and Corey Davis, right? So it's not end all be all. Jets are a shitty organization all over again. Joe Douglas doesn't know what he's doing. Robert Saleh is this, and that. The Jets are cheap. No, just because he went to the Browns, all those things does not mean. That's how I'm thinking about it. I'm not telling you how to think. You have every single reason to think the way you think, and you're entitled to your own opinion. But that's just how I think about this New York Jets team. It's really hard to judge a move before we get to see any of their offseason plans, right? So the reason why he went for so cheap, right, in the draft compensation is because the Cowboys are going to cut him, and they rather get some type of compensation back than just cutting him. So they settle for a really late round pick. And the reason why he was that cheap is because of the contract. That's my point, right? That's my point about Amari Cooper. It seems like it's funny because I'm live about a completely different topic and a completely different player, and I'm talking about Amari Cooper because I didn't expect that breaking news to happen when I was live. But it's okay, man. It's okay. Um, it's okay. Listen, I want Tyron Mathieu on the New York Jets. He might be my favorite safety on the market. Jesse Bates was my guy. Jesse Bates got franchise tag. Marcus Williams is a player I would love because he's youthful. He's a player that's durable, and he's only getting better and better. Justin Reed, I can settle for him. But if there's a veteran that you really want to add to the culture, this is the best fit for the culture, and that's Tyron Mathieu. He's a free agent. He's looking to get paid. We got the cap space. We're moving on from Marcus May. We re-sign LaMarcus Joyner. We re-sign Will Parks. You go out there, throw the bag at the Honey Badger, and then you draft a safety, and there is your safety room for the next couple years. I want it, man. I want it. I want a honey badger. So, um, I don't think that it's going to happen, like guaranteed, right? I feel like on Monday, a lot of stuff is going to start hitting the fan. Um, Monday is where free agency doesn't really officially begin. It's where the agents and the GMs can start talking openly. And then Wednesday is when it really begins. But you do get some verbal agreement news of some players signing verbal contracts, which is why I look out for my live stream on Monday to break down all that stuff. Um, Honey Badger, I think, would be looking around a 14, $15 million annual year contract. So maybe like, similar to Carl Lawson's deal, like a 3-year deal, $45 million maybe. I think that's reasonable for a guy of Tyron Mathieu's caliber. James says Cooper is a solid player, but not an alpha dog number one. Cooper is a few ticks better in pricier version of Corey Davis. Interesting take here, James. Very important factor and can show the young team how to win. This is the biggest reason why um, I am so I really want the Honey Badger, right? This is why I wanted to go live about this because I feel like Tyron Mathieu will go such a long way in helping this team develop that winning mindset, develop that winning culture, because he has so many experiences of winning, right? He's an elite player when he's at his best. He's a culture guy. He's somebody that will help develop Bryce Hall, help develop Brendan Eccles, help develop Ashton Davis, even help out the young linebackers like Jamian Sherwood and Hamza Nazardine. He's just a voice in a locker room that all the young players are going to look at and look up towards. And that's the exact type of veteran leadership we need in this locker room for a defense that was struggling so almightily last year, being power ranked 32nd in the league, being last in almost every single statistical category. So that's why I wanted to go live and talk about this rumor of Tyron Mathieu being interested in the New York Jets. He's friends with Will Parks, and he wants to team up with him. Are we sleeping on Will Parks? Are we sleeping on him? Because he was really good for the Jets in those 2 games, and the Jets re-signing him is adding depth. And I don't know. I don't think it's guaranteed, obviously, but I don't know, bro. We'll see. Someone says May better than Tyron. I don't know. Marcus May is coming off an Achilles, and Mathieu is definitely the better player. They're both the same age. Um, so the only thing that's more beneficial for us than May is because of finance, right? Tyron's going to cost you more money than May. But I think Tyron Mathieu would make more sense for me personally. Is Mathieu going to be with the Jets? I don't know. It's likely, but it's not guaranteed. He can very well re-sign with the Chiefs. He can very well sign with the team that is, ready to win now, and they're a safety away from going to the Super Bowl potentially. Um, if he wants to team up with his friend Will Parks and he wants to team up with a young upcoming defense and team up with the defense of Robert Saleh, then he should come on home to the New York Jets. Bring him home, maybe. I really hope that Joe Douglas does a good job in the free agency market, obviously. And we also have to realize in the free agent market, right? When we see some players get signed to other teams, it goes both ways, right? We cannot be like, oh, why did this guy sign with them? What is Joe Douglas and the Jets doing? Why didn't they sign him? Well, that player very well could have said, I'm not interested in the Jets, right? It's 2 ways. You need two to tango. The player needs to have the interest, and the team needs to have interest. And then they talk. The GMs talk to the agents. They negotiate a contract, and they talk to the player. The player talks to the coaches, and that's how the deal is done. It's a two-way spectrum. You can't just be like, oh, the Jets are not doing anything. Everyone's signing elsewhere. Like you don't know what's happening behind the scenes. So that's my 2 cents about free agency. And it all starts this week, guys. It's about to be crazy. It's about to be hectic around the NFL. We're seeing crazy news around the trade market of Russell Wilson, Carson Wentz, Khalil Mack, throw in Amari Cooper. Who's next? Hopefully, Deshaun Watson's next. Deshaun Watson's next. He's going to be the next domino to fall. And I'm excited. Cooper to the Browns, indeed. Uh, Rumor is Tyron wants 4 years, about 66 mil. Similar contract to mini safety. Yeah, that's definitely a contract that I could see him signing. Now the big question is, do the New York Jets value the safety position and want to hand out a big contract like that, right? That's really crazy. So obviously there's no, you know, it's a big question mark if he's actually interested. He could just be saying, "Hey, I'm happy for my guy Will Parks. I like the idea of teaming up with my friend in New York." Um, but it is pretty crazy that he did go out there on Instagram and say this, that if I were to come to New York, if I was to ever come to New York, I'd wear number one. I rock a Tyron Mathieu jersey, wearing number one. You know what I mean? I don't know. I feel like that would be a lot of fun, and it really, I really feel like Joe Douglas is going to open up the bank for a player. I just don't know who it's going to be. I think it's going to be an offensive lineman and a safety. That's the two positions where I feel like if Joe Douglas wants to open up the bank, that's where it's going to be. I think we're going to sign one of James Daniels, Lincoln Tomlinson, potentially Ryan Jensen, maybe Marcus Williams, Tyron Mathieu, Justin Reed. That's just the safety in the O line market. Outside of that, man, I don't know. There's a lot of things to work out when it comes to this New York Jets team and where they're going to go. Where they're going to go. So the only reason really why I wanted to go live and I made the topic about is Tyron Mathieu interested in signing with the Jets is because if you guys don't know, this Jets fan page, NY Jets commenter, he posted an edit of Tyron Mathieu in a Jets uniform. Tyron Mathieu went out of his way to comment and DM him, saying that if I were ever to come to New York, I'd wear number one. And he also went to congratulate Will Parks, and he said, "Hey, you never know. What if I came there and I teamed up with my boy?" So it's all fun and games right now. It's all rumors. This is what free agency is all about. Of just talking about all these hypothetical scenarios, talking about all these different situations that the New York Jets are going to be in. And I'm really excited to see where the New York Jets go. I feel like they have a really good opportunity to bolster this team in this offseason. We got $46 million in cap space, and we got 9 picks in the top 5 rounds. So it's going to be hectic, guys. Whether the Jets are going to be making trades, I feel like they are. I just don't know who it's going to be. I'm really excited, man. I'm really excited to see what they do. So we got some pessimistic fans in the chat saying Joe Douglas stinks. He's not going to get anything. He's not going to do shit. He's not going to do this. He's not going to do that. He whiffed on Amari Cooper. He's not going to sign anybody. He's going to sign people. That's for sure. We just don't know who it's going to be. You feel me? Because I personally am not getting too tripped out over Amari Cooper. Like, I'm not, I didn't see that news and I wasn't like, oh, that's the end of the world. This team sucks. We're going nowhere in life. The Jets are doing nothing this offseason. Like, that's not my reaction personally to this. That's just like, damn, we missed out on that. Let's see what they do now. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of different opportunities on the table for us. I feel like the Jets are holding on to their money and waiting for that $20 million per year receiver to come in, whether that's a DK. Because, hey, say they want to trade for DK. You cannot have Amari Cooper and DK on the same team. Feel me? Of course, we missed out. There's no doubt about it. There's no sugarcoating that we missed out on a good opportunity to pay a receiver $20 million per year and only giving up like a really barely any draft capital at all. So, listen, we got the money and we got the resources to bolster this wide receiver room. So I would not get too freaked out about it. Yeah, it's funny, Hawk. I saw Jake live about the topic of why the New York Jets need to get Amari Cooper, and I wasn't on the stream, but I thought of him right when I saw the news that he's going to the Browns. So I can only imagine. I can only imagine. Am I wearing a leopard print shirt? No, I'm not. This is a bleached tie dye tee. It's not leopard print. This is a black T-shirt that was bleached from my buddy. My buddy has a clothing company. Um, the youth movement's real. Yes, sir. I don't think the Jets are going to trade for DK Metcalf if it's going to cost 2 years. I mean, 2 years, 2 first-round picks. I feel like the Jets have a lot of opportunities on the table. If they want to get a receiver in the top end of the draft, I feel like they're 100% going to draft one at least in the top 38 picks. You know, one of those 4 picks that we got. Feel me? I don't know. We gotta here. I think I have a list of all the free agent targets still. No, I don't. No, I didn't. Here we go. Yeah. So here's some free agent targets to look out for that I had on the list for my previous stream. Um, Guys like Carlton Davis, I think he's going to get paid a lot of money. I don't know if the Jets are going to pay him that much money, to be honest. Bobby Wagner, if you want to add another veteran to the linebacker core, or if you want to go younger with Foyce Olokun from the Falcons, or if you want to throw the bag at Allen Robinson, I guess I can take off Amari Cooper from this list now. Definitely take off Amari Cooper from this list. Let's do that now. Before everyone's like, yo, he's gone. He's gone. Gonna add Tyron though. Gerald Everett, Zach Ertz are potential targets. So there's a lot of guys that the New York Jets will be interested in. And it's I wish I could sit here with a crystal ball and be like, yeah, the Jets are gonna sign this, and that guy. I have no idea who they're gonna sign, to be honest. I don't have any sources. I don't talk to any people. I'm just a Jets fan like you guys going live to talk about the Jets. Um, the blind faith from you is hilarious. I'm just not sitting here being upset over a move without seeing a grand plan. Listen, I will be if we do not address a number one receiver in the offseason, then I go back and say it's a mistake. But I personally think it's a little too premature to be saying it's the end of the world of missing out on Amari Cooper without seeing what the plan is. We don't know the plan yet. You know what I mean? Like we haven't seen what the Jets are doing in the offseason yet. So after free agency and after the draft, then we can say if it was a mistake or not to go after Amari Cooper. Say hypothetically we do not sign anybody in free agency big time, meaning like an Allen Robinson type, and say we do not acquire a big time asset in the draft at the wide receiver position. Then yes, I'll be upset that we did not get Amari Cooper because that was a perfect opportunity to get your number one receiver. But what I'm trying to say is as well, if the Jets go out there in free agency and they pay Allen Robinson, or they trade for DK Metcalf, or they go out there and draft Garrett Wilson, then I'll be like, okay, that's why they did not go out there and get Amari Cooper. I just think it's way too premature to just freak out about this. That's how I'm saying. I don't have a blind faith. I'm just speaking my truth of how I feel like you can't really think that way. Um, is my audio off, Jay? I don't like to hear that. Hold on, let me check my audio. Um, I did not know that my audio is not working. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully the audio gets better. I don't know. Audio is fine. Okay, good. You got me scared for a sec. You got me scared. Okay, just want to make sure. Listen, guys. So the New York Jets have a lot of opportunities ahead of themselves. Obviously, we all wanted Amari Cooper, and now he's going to the Browns. So now let's move on, right? Who are the players on the board for the New York Jets that we should be targeting? Who's it gonna be, guys? I don't know, but I can't wait to find out already. So I'm so sick of talking about hypothetical this, hypothetical that. No, they should get this guy. They should stay away from this guy. Do. You feel me? Like I'm over that. I'm down to figure it out. I can't wait, man. I can't wait to figure it out. So if you guys have any questions about free agency or anything, I'll open this up to a Jets Q&A. Let me know in the chat anything you guys want me to talk about, any topics, any free agency stuff about Tyron Mathieu, about Amari Cooper, about anything regarding the New York Jets. Let me know. And of course, super chats. You get to skip the line and I answer your question right away. Their priority. So let me know in the chat. I'll open this to a Jets Q&A right before we end off the stream. Jordan says, just draft the number one receiver. I'm down for that. Hunter says, he's probably Davis 2.0. Probably will get hurt. You never know. Melvin, I'm pissed about Cooper. We had more give versus the Browns. We better get A-Rod. Yeah, Melvin, I'll see you. I see you, man. I see you. D-line free agents. Yeah, man, I think that the Jets need to go out there and get guys like James Daniels to plug in that right guard. DJ Jones is a defensive lineman to look out for. Um, there's a lot of players that the Jets are going to be interested in the trenches when it comes to the offensive line. I don't feel like the Shanahan offense relies on a number one receiver, to be honest, at least not in recent memory. Yeah, it kind of doesn't. I mean, you have Deebo Samuel, who's like, you can't really replicate that man in your system. But I agree. Why not try and get Adam Thielen? Adam Thielen is a great player. I hear that he might be on the trade market. Definitely someone to consider. I think the Jets should definitely call and see what the value is there. Number one receivers take time to develop. You can't just draft one. You can draft a prospect you hope to turn into a number one receiver. And hey, we do have a prospect that I feel like we're going to be developing into our own number one receiver, that being Elijah Moore. Maybe JD didn't make the move because we would have had less cap for free agency. Yeah, you never know why. I think that is a really good point, my man. Maybe they have a big plan for free agency, and if they did that trade, it would hinder their plan. Michael Carter is an Eckler type. He is good with limited touches, but he should be a 200 touch guy. Yeah, I agree. I feel like this offense is more of a committee approach, especially because they're trying to make sure that Carter stays healthy all season long. But I agree. He could definitely hold on to that workload. And the problem is, what person in free agency wants to come go us? Yeah, that's the thing about free agency that everyone needs to understand is it's not like the Jets can just sign whoever they want. The player needs to choose to come to the Jets. You feel me? So a lot of these top market players that we all want, what if they don't want to come here? Right? That's something that we have to remember. Just because we miss out on free agents doesn't mean the Jets didn't try to get him. That's unfortunate because the Jets, we have to kind of overpay in order to bring in the big time people because that's what's going to get them over here. That's why Le'Veon Bell came. That's probably why CJ came. Kyle with a $2 donation. Thank you so much, my man. I just hope JD isn't strategy. Oh, sorry, strategy. I just hope JD isn't stingy in free agency this year. So yeah, we will find out this week if that's going to be the reality or not, Kyle. But yeah, you can't really say that he was stingy last year, in my opinion. I mean, he paid Carl Lawson a big time contract, $45 million. He paid Corey Davis um, a lot of money, $12.5 million annually per year, and they spent the fourth most cap in the NFL last year. So it's not like JD's going out there and spending nothing, right? And in year number one, he gave a decent contract to George Fant, which I think was a phenomenal signing. Same with Connor McGovern. But he hasn't really handed out that 5-year mega contract that we're used to as Jets fans. Because us as Jets fans, we're so programmed and used to the best player available. We're going to pay you all the money. You're going to come here. Tremaine Johnson, Le'Veon, CJ. Those didn't really work out. I mean, luckily CJ is playing at a high level, but Tremaine Johnson, we're finally not paying him any more dead cap money. And Le'Veon Bell later for you. Here's a good one. When are we moving to the new stadium in NYC? I wish that was supposed to happen. It got vetoed in the city. There was a beautiful section in Hudson Yard that the New York Jets tried to get a stadium built, and the residents and the people in Manhattan vetoed it, voted against it, which makes no sense to me because they're scared of traffic and too much hectic stuff happening in the city. Bro, it's literally 8 times a year. 8 Sundays a year. Can't sacrifice that? I wish. Let's just hope that they opt out of the lease to Johnson for 2024 because that's our only hope. How much would I pay A-Rod? If I can get him between not I, sorry. If the Jets can get him between like 15, 16, 17 million dollars for like 2 or 3 years, all front loaded where we can get out of the contract after a year or 2, I think that makes a lot of sense. Um, when's the last time JD made a blockbuster move? Well, if you consider a blockbuster move trading away Jamal and trading away Sam, because he basically got an entire draft class from 2 players, but he hasn't really made a blockbuster move bringing in a player in the trade market yet. You know what I mean? He's traded away big players, but he's not traded a big player to the Jets yet. We're all hopeful that that will finally happen now this year. I like Jarvis, but I feel like may take some of Moore's looks. Moore should be moved around like a chess piece. Yes, he should. I agree. Juju Smith-Schuster, maybe. So last year, if you guys remember, the Jets were linked to Juju, and the Jets were interested in him when free agency started. I was live for a while because there's a rumor that the Jets are going to sign him, and I was on board. And obviously, he decided to re-sign with the Steelers for a 1 year deal, and then he got injured all year. If the Jets signed Juju to a really friendly deal, because I don't think he's going to be asking for a big contract after being injured all of last year, I'd be down. I feel like Juju can replace Keelan Cole's position, like that wide receiver 4 or 5 for depth, and be part of the the rotation. Why not? We would not be signing Juju to be the number 1 receiver. That's what people would probably assume. Like, oh, what? We went from Amari Cooper to Juju? Like, no. If we got Juju, he's not going to be the number 1 guy. He would be like the number 3 or 4 or 5 in my eyes. He'd be behind Corey Davis. He'd be behind Elijah Moore. Who do you think we land at number 1 receiver? Kirk, A-Rob, or Chark? I think DJ Chark makes a lot of sense. I think Christian Kirk might be asking for a little too much money, in my opinion. $15 million per year. I saw a rumor on Twitter about that. I don't think he's worth that much money. That's more than Corey Davis. But let's get Braxton Berrios back in the building. Let's sign A-Rob, and then let's draft the receiver. That's what I'm down for. Would you offer a third day pick for someone like Rager? I know he has drop problems, but that's what they said about Braylon Edwards. He's fast. I think he's a cheap gamble. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely something to consider. I don't know if the Eagles would be willing to move on from him yet. You never know. They might be because they have Devontae Smith as their guy that they're developing and being a star for them. And Jalen Rager definitely is a disappointment. And Eagles fans are pissed off about him because they drafted him over Justin Jefferson. I don't know, man. Jalen Rager is kind of bad. So you never know. Young players could bounce back like Denzel. We'll see. Landry, Moore, Barrios, all the same. Yeah, I don't really feel like Jarvis Landry to the Jets makes a lot of sense because, like Dennis says, that's Elijah Moore. We have our own version of Jarvis Landry, in my opinion. Um, Barrios needs to be signed. Kid plays hard and has great hands, but as usual, the front office doesn't do the right thing. Well, listen, if you're what happened with Braxton Berrios is we presented him a contract. The New York Jets presented him a contract, and that they feel is fair. And then Braxton Berrios wants to test the open market to see where his value is at because you can't blame Berrios. He's at his value is as high as it's going to be in his life, and he probably wants to test the open market to see if there's a team that would pay him more than the Jets offer. And I don't know what the contract is that the Jets offered. I don't know what the Jets said that they think is a good offer or not. But Barrios wants to test the open market before he decides to resign with the Jets. Losers mentality, man. Go get Landry. Why are you stuck in this losers mentality? I'm not really stuck in a losers mentality. I mean, maybe you think I am, but I'm not. I don't know. I just don't know if um, Jarvis Landry would be a fit, to be honest. I mean, he's an injury-prone receiver that kinda does the same exact thing with Elijah Moore. But not with that being said, if the Jets do bring in Jarvis Landry, I'd be all for it. It's not like a player that I want them to go all in for, but if they do make a move for Landry, that would be a dynamic player that has versatility, that can line up on the outside, line up on the inside. He's proved to be a top receiver in the NFL when he's healthy and when he's playing good football. I just don't know if that's a player that the Jets would want to bring in or not. Now that the Cleveland Browns went out there and got Amari Cooper, maybe they want to move on from Landry, but why would they want to move on from Landry if they can have a really big wide receiver tandem of Landry and Cooper? Landry, nah. Landry sucks ass. He's garbage. Richie is your guy who has the most hope. I don't see a loser's mentality ever. Thank you, King Jamie. I appreciate you. Good luck to your Chiefs this week. Good luck to your Chiefs this week. Landry's not worth the money. Interesting. Hawk says if we offered Berrios 4 years, $28 million, he would have signed that $7 million a year. Now we run the risk of a team overpaying him and him leaving to a division rival because we are too cheap. Well, there is a little, gray area. Like, how much money are you willing to spend on Braxton, right? I would pay him personally because I love Braxton. I think he's a big time piece for this future. He has chemistry with Zach, which is very, very pivotal. He has the smarts. He has the versatility of being a special teams player. He can play out of the slot, and he's very reliable. So I'm with you. I want him on the Jets. Why don't Jets fans learn from our mistakes? No high end free agents. Joe, thank you. This is what I get crapped on by some Jets fans whenever I talk about this. Like all, not all, sorry. A lot of Jets fans clown me saying, losers mentality. Why don't you want all these top guys? Why don't you want all the big tier one free agents? It's because we need to learn from our mistakes, guys. Do I need to remind you of what this Jets franchise has done the past 7 years in free agency? Like, I'm sorry, but it's the truth. And Joe's got a point. Jets fans need to learn from their mistakes. So I got some new people tuning in. George is just tuning in. Wait, Tyron is interested in the Jets. So here's a little thing that happened. Tyron Mathieu went on Instagram and he messaged a New York Jets Instagram account that posted a jersey swap with him on the Jets, and he DM'd him saying, "Me and Philly Will, who's Will Parks, two gangsta. I'd wear one if I were ever to come to New York." So that's why I went live. This is not guaranteed that Tyron's interested in coming to the Jets, but I thought it was really crazy that he went out of his way to interact with a New York Jets fan on Instagram. And he's also really close with Will Parks. Um, let's see. We're drafting a compliment from to more. Keep Berrios. I hope so, man. I really hope. Uh, JD has fans brainwashed. New York is not going anywhere without spending money. See, like another thing about this narrative that I don't get is like Joe Douglas has spent money. Joe Douglas spent the fourth most cap money last year. He spends money. He just doesn't put it into 5 year contracts that's going to take away cap flexibility for years to come. You know what I mean? He's trying to maintain a long term sustainable winner. He's not trying to go all in and win this season. There's a big time difference. If you rather the New York Jets go with the route of paying all the top tier free agents, you pick two players, you pick J.C. Jackson, and you pick another player, and you throw them both of them the bag, and then we're really good in those positions, but we don't have enough money to allocate all the other holes that we have in this roster. We go into the season, we're okay. We're like an average football team, and then all of a sudden, 2 years down the line, we're in cap hell, and we're right back to square one. That's not the approach that I want. I rather the New York Jets have a long-term approach to this in terms of building a winning culture year in and year out. And the way you do that is building through the draft and use free agency as a supplement. Spend your big money on a couple players, and then use that other money to allocate it to the rest of the roster to build depth. That's what this Jets team realizes because I don't know why I have to repeat myself, but this Jets team is not one or two players away from becoming a playoff or a Super Bowl team at all. And that's not breaking news. That's not me discovering something. That's not me telling you something that you don't already know. If it was the other way around, say we already had elite talent at safety, say we had depth out of the interior offensive line, say we already had a tight end, then I'd be like, we have to go all in on this one player and throw him the bag because that one player is going to take us to the top. That's just not the reality, guys. It's not the reality of where this Jets team is at. And it hurts. It hurts to say it. I wish it wasn't the reality, guys. I wish it was, we were stacked at all these positions and we had holes at only two position groups. And then we really just spent a lot of money in those two position groups. But the reality of the situation is we have holes all over the roster, which is why we cannot spend top tier money on one player because we need to spend that money throughout the entire roster and not negate a specific position. That's the way that they're doing it. If you disagree with it, we'll find out if it works or not. We got another donation from Ordena Mary. Thank you so much. Apparently, Jets are interested in Jarvis Landry. Yeah, man, I think Jarvis Landry will be an interesting conversation to have. If it's a player that we can bring in for a third or fourth round pick, I think that'll be definitely something to talk about. We got John Beck. Yo, this is John Beck, Zach's QB coach. Are you actually John Beck, or are you actually John Beck? Are you actually John Beck, or are you pretending to be John Beck? Because a lot of people impersonate people on YouTube. This is a good take right here. San Fran isn't paying a single wide receiver more than $5 million a year. They only have one first round receiver. It's offensive production by committee. It has always been. Speak your truth. Speak your truth. Like if there was a player I'm willing to draft, spend big time money on and trade for, that is DK Metcalf. I'm not John Beck, but I love your channel, bro. Yeah, that's what I thought. John, I appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate the love. I thought that was funny. Look who they have. Kittle, elite tight end. That's what we need. Trey McBride. Trey McBride is elite tight end written all over it, and hopefully that's the man that we bring in the draft. Why would Laundry cost a fourth, but Cooper just a fifth? Well, the Cooper just a fifth is because of the contract, right? The reason why Cooper went for just that amount is because he has a big-time contract, and the Cowboys were about to release him if they did not find a trade partner. So the Browns wanted to make sure that he did not hit the open market that they can secure to get him. The reason why Cooper went for a fifth is because of that $20 million per year contract. What is this I heard about interest in Saquon and Bradbury? Yeah, I don't know if that makes sense for the Jets, Saquon Barkley. Yeah, I don't know if that makes sense. And Bradbury, that's a player that definitely I feel like would make a little more sense just because we don't have a veteran at that cornerback room. And we have a stud in Michael Carter at running back. So I don't really think that would be a good idea. They drafted Kettle in round 5. Sometimes teams luck into players. That's why we should draft Trey McBride. Do it. What about drafting Wilson at 10 and Christian Watson in the second? Hey, if this is the only way this is going to happen is if we do not sign any wide receiver in free agency that's worth a lot of money. Feel me? Who do you have the Jets picking in the first round? I think that the Jets are going to draft one of these edge rushers, Kayvon Thibodeau, Jermaine Johnson, or Trayvon Walker. I think one of those three will be a New York Jet. Now, the other position, I don't know. I can answer this question with confidence after free agency. So, William, next week, after free agency, I'll tell you who we're going to draft. Because I really, we don't know. Sauce Gardner is a player that I would love to be drafted in the first round. What do I think about Zach Ertz? I think Zach Ertz would be a great fit. I think he's a veteran that would be phenomenal. And if we can sign Zach Ertz and draft a player in the draft at the tight end spot, like a Trey McBride or a Ferguson or a Greg Dulcich, and we'll have that veteran and rookie tandem. Yes, sir. Sauce Gardner, I want him to justice for George. I want him to. Zach Ertz and Trey McBride. That is the pipe dream. That is the pipe dream. All right, guys, make sure you smash that thumbs up button. Let's get to 100 likes. We got 92 likes with 134 you guys tuning in. Smash that thumbs up button for your boy. Greatly appreciate you guys tuning in on this spontaneous Jets Media live stream here on Saturday afternoon. We'll be live all day on Monday. So mark your calendars because it's going to be a wild show here. We're going to have Jack on as a special guest, and it's going to be crazy breaking all the NFL news around the league. Who's going where? Who's coming to the Jets? Who's not going to the Jets? Who are we going to be upset about that's not coming? Who's signing elsewhere? It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun on the channel. So I hope you guys hit that notification bell if you're not already so you get notified every time that I post a video and I go live so you don't miss any live stream. It's going to be a lot of fun, man. Always give the likes. You're the man. Appreciate you. On the same day, they agreed to trade wide receiver Amari Cooper, but the Browns also granted permission to better Jarvis Landry to see. Okay, so this is from Adam Schefter, as John Beck just said. So, yeah, Jarvis Landry is definitely a player to look out for now. If Joe Douglas wants to bring in a veteran in the trade market, that's another player to look out for. Uh, I'm really excited to see what they do. According to Connor Hughes just tweeted this out. Jets' free agent approach is going to be very similar to years past, strategically aggressive. They won't sit out on free agents, nor strictly bargain buy. When they see an opportunity to better their team, they'll pounce. Cooper at $20 million wasn't that, considering other holes. Draft still number one focus. So that's from Connor Hughes. That's what he had to say. Tyron Mathieu is not coming to the Jets. Most likely he's not, but I'm down. I'm down for him to come. Let me dream, Catfish Billy. Let me dream of Mathieu on the Jets, please. Sean says Jets fans get so excited to get let down and miss out on every free agent the team wanted. Jody does to spend big. Yeah, that's why I'm taming my expectations. So I'm not going to be that upset when certain players don't come. Like Tyron Mathieu, for example, I'm not going to be super upset if he doesn't sign here because I don't really think it's realistic. I just want to go live as a topic because I thought that this Instagram conversation between Mathieu and a Jets fan was pretty interesting. The way that the New York Jets are going to approach this offseason, in my eyes, is have a long-term perspective of developing the young talent on the roster and supplementing this team through the draft and free agency. I know that some Jets fans want us to go all in and try to win it all this year, but that's just not realistic. You know what I mean? It's just not. Sign Allen Robinson and Juju, draft Burks. That's some three receivers added to your roster. That's going to be pretty crazy. Um, yeah, so we got some Jarvis Landry news. So Jarvis Landry is officially on the trade block. You guys want Jarvis Landry? Let me know in the chat. Is Jarvis Landry a player you'd want? Let me know in the chat. Who wants Landry? Who doesn't? No, no, no Landry. Trade third round for Landry. Seems like majority doesn't want him. Injury prone. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. All right, guys. So that's gonna wrap up the live stream. I was live for over an hour. I had to clip these at an hour. So next time you'll see my face is on Monday at the Free Agent Frenzy live stream. That's already scheduled. So if you guys see that, go click it, hit the notification bell on it, so you know we'll be live there. That's gonna be a lot of fun on the channel. I'm really excited to be live um, with Jack talking about all the latest news around the NFL. That's going to be a great, great time. Thank you guys for hitting the like button. We got over 100 likes already. It does mean a lot to the channel. And let's do it. I'm really excited to see what the Jets do. We have breaking news of Jarvis Landry being on the trade block, so we'll see if the Jets can have any interest in that. We got DK Metcalf potentially on the trade block if the Seattle Seahawks really want to go tank mode. And the free agency market begins on Monday. The new league year begins Wednesday afternoon, but the free agency opens on Monday. So let's do it. I appreciate it. Um, okay, Richie, God bless you. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much, my man. Thanks for the show. Thank you for tuning in, Sean. Um, yeah, so thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you guys helping me out and enjoying the live stream. It does mean a lot. And I'll catch you guys in my next stream on Monday at the Free Agency Frenzy Jets Media live stream. Let's go, Jets. Keep that optimistic vibes up. And I'll see you guys then. Have a great rest of your night and enjoy the rest of your weekend, everybody. Peace.